And here we are. Good Monday evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Carnivore Talk roundtable discussion. And we've got Rick joining us on screen tonight, and we would love to have you on screen with us. So if you're watching on YouTube, there's the link that's always pinned in the chat. And if you're over on X and or on Facebook, I'm going to post the link right now, and I'll try to remember to do that from time to time. And and this is just an open mic discussion tonight. So we didn't select a theme, and some of our regulars are out. Jeff has a family situation he has to address tonight, and Paul has been MIA for a few days. I don't know where he's been, so hopefully he's okay. And so we've got Rick on screen with us. I'm glad to have you here, Rick. How have you been?
Well, I've been busy, but otherwise good. I spent the weekend helping a friend of mine move, so I was eating later than usual, and I didn't get to bed till after midnight, so I was a little bit sluggish today, but I'm back to normal.
Yeah. When do you normally crash?
I'm normally in bed by 10:30,
Yeah.
but it's I didn't get home yesterday till 10:15, so and then I had to eat something, and I normally don't eat that late, but I'm okay.
Yeah. No, I know how that feels. So I fall asleep in my recliner. This has been my pattern for years now. Ever since either I haven't figured it out. It's either since I started the carnivore diet or since I got a dog. But I fall asleep in my recliner usually between 10:30 and 11:30, and I wake up at 3 a.m., let the dog out, and go. Then I go to my official bed and I sleep till about 7:30. But lately, I've been falling asleep earlier, getting up earlier, which is kind of a good thing. So, but I know how when you're talking about kind of being sluggish and worn out. I decided to work Saturday because in my real life, I'm very busy with my business. I'm a tile setter and I own my own business. I decided to put in a backsplash on Saturday, and it was probably the worst wall I have seen in a long time. And I arrived at 11, and I didn't leave until 8 p.m. And I didn't eat all day, so I fasted all day until I got home, and I made a couple chicken tacos and passed out. But yeah, it was. I don't like working that late, and I'm sure neither do you.
Yeah, thankfully I don't have to do tile very often. Everybody now uses that stupid drywall or that Durock crap or whatever. When I did my tile here, I did mortar base. That way it's easier. I just fill it all in, screed it out, and slap the old tiles on there with a thin set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Hey, Thomas, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I can't stay for too long, but I figured I'd come on and say hello.
Oh, that's good. How have you been? How's things over in Jersey?
Oh my God, I'm just been doing a lot of working and stuff like that, which is good. My roommate's no longer there, so I gotta make up that money.
Oh, okay. You lost your roommate, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I thought maybe it seemed like it was telling everybody, so I thought maybe you knew.
No, I wasn't aware, so I don't know. I don't. Did
He
you
had
kick
to
him
go
out?
into assisted living. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, yeah. So I'm looking for a new roommate. To come in, and hopefully they'll be carnivore, but that's probably far few in between. So
How was your last roommate carnivore?
no, I tried to help him become carnivore because then maybe he wouldn't have had to go into assisted living.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he actually had really bad Parkinson's and really bad diabetes and all the stuff that carnivore would probably help.
Right.
But no matter how well I was doing, he didn't care. He's like, I was taught vegetables are good for me. I was taught that it's okay, and his idea of vegetables was a bag of potato chips, so.
Yeah. No. So that doesn't count. So
No.
a lot of people think like
So now he's getting help by getting more of that stuff that he wants. So
Yeah. Vegetables. I gotta eat my vegetables.
I gotta eat
They
my
stick their hands in the potato chips, the Doritos,
My
loaves
mom
of
told me
crusted
margarine
white
was
bread,
good.
and it's like that's not vegetables.
And margarine's not really food in any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, best wishes for him. Hope he gets the assistance that he needs.
Yeah. Well, like I
And
said, I mean, you know how they are like he's in a facility, so they're not going to give him the foods he needs, but he will definitely get the foods that he wants. So
yeah, I had a friend that Parkinson's overtook him, and it was a long, slow decline, and it was kind of hard to watch as it got close to the end there. So
yeah.
all righty. And Rick, you're down there in the Florida where it's nice and toasty.
Yeah, a bit rainy too.
Mhm.
I had a 20-mile bike ride to the stores, and I got in a big storm. But you do the best you can.
Oh, well, that little water wouldn't hurt. I love a good thunderstorm. I probably wouldn't want to be caught riding my bike in one, but when they blow up around here, it's kind of funny. We'll have all these alerts on the television. The map is colored red, and there's flashing things on the screen, and they're telling you to get to your basement. And years ago, like my wife and my children, they'd be crying like, "Dad, we gotta go to the basement." I'm on my back porch pulling up a chair like, this is showtime for me. I love a good storm. All right. Well, let's go over and say hi in the chat, because I did see at least one question that's going to be targeted towards Rick. So let's say hi to some people and catch up to it. Linda Flanagan was first in the door, so you get first prize. Thanks for joining us and coming in early. Jamette, you were close in second place. Bacon Runner picks up third. So welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here. We also have Sandy Blythe and Brian Dish. And here's Frank Calabrese today. Very good. And Rick and Milton and Miss Kitty, did you catch the female cat and bring it in?
Well, I haven't brought her in. I did let her in, but Milton and her got into a little bit of a crazy thing going on here. So she's afraid to come in now, but she's always outside waiting for food.
Oh, did they have a lover's spat?
I'm not sure, but she's got kittens for sure. So we have to wait until the kittens come out and see what they look like. If there's any black ones in there, I know what happened.
But didn't you say there's more than one black cat though?
Yeah, this neighborhood's full of cats. There's another black cat down the street. There's an orange cat. There's a white cat. There's a black and white cat. There's cats everywhere. I don't know which one's
tell you that was the other black cat, right?
It could be. I don't know which one's fixed. That's the thing.
I've heard that an animal like a cat can actually have a litter of kittens, and the kittens could have different fathers.
Probably.
Yeah, I've heard that that's possible. So,
but that cat, the calico, is a cutie, so I'm sure the kittens will be cute. I just have to find any friends that want to get a nice little kitten. So we'll see what happens. Then after the kittens are adopted, I can get her fixed. So we'll shut down the kitten factory.
Yeah. Very good. Lions Danivore podcast. Good to see you here. And there's Uncle Charlie.
Hey, Uncle Charlie.
Welcome back, Uncle Charlie. Good to see you. And let's see here. Here's some small talk. And no, Geezy, I'm out. Yeah, no, he's got a family situation he has to address. He actually texted me yesterday morning. I was in church. I didn't have, and I forgot to text him back, but he did let me know that he wouldn't be able to make it today. And then, like I said, Paul is usually a prolific poster in our forum, and he's been MIA for about 5 days. So hopefully he's okay. I haven't seen Paul, so hopefully he's doing all right. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing pretty good. Better. I'm not wore out like I was over the weekend.
Oh yeah, you've been working hard too.
Well, working hard to, as they say, like herding cats. I went to Branson, Missouri this weekend. There was it's called YCW, or Young Christians Weekend, and I was a chaperone. So I don't know what you get more of a workout, either walking all day in Silver Dollar City or coming up out of that, they call Echo Hollow Amphitheater. And it's at least 2 footballs from the bottom to the top where the park entrance is. And I got a pretty good workout where walking up the stairs and time I got to the top where it goes back into the park, it felt like, you had that where you're burning when you're breathing, you had that little bit of that burn. I'm like, wow, that was a workout.
All right. Okay, well, that sounds like fun. So chaperoning basically some adult supervision for these young ones, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Very good. How's the hip doing?
It's hanging in there. I am having hip replacement surgery August 28th.
Okay. All right. Is that something you're that's what 5 months out? Does that feel like it's going to be like a long 5 months, or you can't wait to get it done, or are you going to be okay until then? What do you think?
I'll probably be okay. I've been dealing with this for a long time. Even before Carnivore, it was extremely painful. I mean, had painful knees and feet. So this is pretty much a breeze. The main reason why I want this surgery is because I have no internal hip rotation, and no matter what I do, it will not move. And I saw the X-ray at the orthopedic group where it's damaged. It's done. So I need to get it replaced. But other than that, the reason why I'm waiting till August is because I need to save up some extra funds that I need, because 60% short-term disability is not going to be covering a lot of the bills.
Mm-hmm.
So I need about $7,000 more, which I got already half of it in. So all I got to do is say I got a couple bonuses I usually get. I'll have that and I should be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I understand. Are you trying to hide behind the chat? I see you there, Tom. Put the chat up on the screen. I even tried to. It was even like that, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna move
poor
over
Thomas."
Nope, we gotta let you hide.
Did you see what I did last week? I was on with Mitch on the panel, and he had his skull thing in the chat. So I put I put it looking like a tattoo around my face.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He never noticed.
So Kelly, I had a friend that had to have it was a hip replacement, and yeah, they were kind of in the same boat where the benefits would cover so much, and so they spent many weeks ahead of time, weeks and months ahead of time, getting all the overtime they could and banking it, so that when they did have to, I think they had to take 6 weeks off, or maybe even 8 weeks off, that they were able to float that, that time period with no income. So I get it. It's what you got to do, what you got to do.
Most of it will cover the house, the electric, water, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take on an extra car payment. I had to take on a car payment because my truck broke down. I had issues with that. So that also paying the one little credit card back off, and then paying off a Bridgestone Firestone interest-free card, get all that paid off, then I'd be pretty much set. So I've switched because I was having issues. I don't know if it's on my end or if it was on YouTube's end or the EV Mux. I did switch to StreamYard. I got the core, but I went ahead and paid for the whole year, so I don't have to worry about that, the monthly coverage. And then all I have to do is, sometime in June, all I have to do is pay for my no copyright music. I'll pay for that. And other than that, that's pretty much set. And all I got to do is probably cut some bills, like tiny bills. Like I'll probably end up cutting the YouTube premium and deal with the ads until I'm back to work fully. And then certain other things. But other than that, I'm actually looking forward to see how well I heal being on a carnivore diet, because just it was amazing to go from all this chronic inflammation on the carnivore when I went to the carnivore diet to where I'm at today. Even though the hip is damaged and it needs to be replaced, like if you ask me number scale 1 to 10, what is your pain? Maybe a 1, if that. And I can walk pretty good. Maybe every now and then I I can feel it click, and I can feel that. But as soon as I catch that, I'm good to go. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this heals. So this is going to be my new, the next phase of my journey on this carnivore way of life.
Yeah, so I don't have a reference, but I started the carnivore diet the day I broke my ankle in 2023. And I was told at the time that I could be laid up to 3 months, by the time I'm walking normally again. And I had my surgery. I got like 6 screws and a metal plate in my ankle, and I was 6 weeks of PlayStation recliner using a scooter, and I lost 10 pounds still even on the carnivore diet. And I went and got x-rayed, and I remember the doctor was like, wow, you healed super fast. He's like, according to these x-rays, you can try and start walking anytime you want. And even then he said it would probably take about 30 days until I was comfortable without the crutches. And I was actually, I went home and I started trying, and I was off the crutches in 3 days. So based on the feedback I got, what I was told to expect versus what really happened, I count that as a carnivore win, So
Yeah, I know. The one question I ask him, since it is my right hip, because in October I'm going to Keto Palooza. I already got my hotel already reserved. I already got the ticket paid for. And that's the one thing I asked when I scheduled. I said, how long before I get to drive? And they said, well, as long as you're not on the medicine, or because they're going to subscribe me with narcotic medicine. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to try to take it unless I absolutely very last resort if I need it, because I'm like, if I dealt with this this really extreme pain of inflammation, I'm like, I can live through this. And so, like, if I need it, I have it. If not, I'm just not going to take it. I'm just going to let the body heal naturally.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Keto Palooza you mentioned. I hadn't heard of it. I'm going to Hack Your Health in November, though, and says this is like 1 month prior to that. $189. It says for a KPL Keto, must be in Keto Palooza 26. Yeah, okay, yeah, 2026. Early bird registration is $189. General registration is $239. I'm assuming early bird is a price up to a certain date, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I got the early bird, but I might not be able to go. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's in Lexington, Kentucky. Is that right?
Yes. No.
Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's much closer than Florida. So interesting. I don't go to a lot of these things.
Right.
So the berries would be there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting the berries, and then there was someone else that's going to be there that I'm looking forward to meeting, and that's like, this will be a pretty good time.
Yeah,
and then Amy from Keto Rockstars, and then Jerry, Middle of the Forest, is going to be there as well. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to get together. I expect for Hack Your Health to be fun. It's going to be nice to get together and meet some people face to face. And I love public speaking. I think it'd be great if I could someday get a gig on or something like that. I think it would be great. All right, let's see here. We are at who have I met? Let's start here. We got Holly Springer. Good to see you, Holly. And we got Linda McDaniel. She's a member, and we appreciate that. And yeah, you get dibs on anything here, Linda. Good to have you here. Let's see here. Coach Angela Mullins is here. Good to see you. And here's the question. Question for Rick from Sandy Blythe. Did you find Miss Kitty some food?
Yes, I did. I had to go the Aldi that's 10 miles away. So it was a 20-mile round trip bike ride. But I did find the canned food that she liked. I mean, she won't eat the meat that Milton eats. So I'm getting her. She only would eat dry food originally. I think she was somebody's cat somebody abandoned. And then I got her to eat the canned food. I'll get her on the meat eventually. It's just a matter of time.
Very nice. 10-mile bike ride is good. So do you bike around a lot?
Yeah, well, it's 10 mile each way. So it was 20 miles round trip.
Right. Yeah. No, I want to. That's one of my goals. Is I want to get a bike. I used to bike a lot years ago, and I bought a used bike, It's okay. It has trouble shifting gears and stuff, so I want to go get a better one. But I would love to ride bikes, locally for small stuff.
I get my bikes from the trash.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure mine maybe. I don't know too much about it, but it needs some work. So
Yeah, bikes are easy to fix. You can figure it out.
yeah, something's not aligned. Like when you try and change the gears, there's 3 gears on the one wheel, and it's like it'll shift on 2 of them, but it won't quite grab the third one. The chain might roll up on it and then fall back off down to the second one. So something
You
needs
can
something's misaligned.
adjust the derailleur with a flat screwdriver, and make sure that the bearings are good on the crank.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll play around with it first.
They're very simple.
All right. Linda McDaniel says, come on, folks, hit the like button. Yes, absolutely. We were up to 52 a minute ago, currently 49 viewers. So yeah, hit that like button. That tells the YouTube algorithms that we're live, and it pushes this out in front of some other people, and we get some extra viewers that way, which is nice. My record is 64. I'd love to set new records. And last week, in our last hour, we were about to wrap up at after our 3-hour mark, and someone new came on that's not part of our community and had some interesting questions, and we got to talk to him for an hour, and it was actually it went very, very well. So if you want to know more about that, our topic was on mental health problems and the carnivore diet, and that's what drew his attention. So go to we started at 8. Yeah, he popped on around 11. So yeah, skip ahead about 3 hours and catch that last hour. It was a very interesting discussion. All right, but yes, hit that like button. Ricky Lee Carnivores here. Hi, Ricky. All right. DS111 says, sometimes I pray for rain so people get water leaks so we can do drywall repairs.
That's my most dreaded thing, water leaks.
Yeah, well, I do custom showers, so water leaks are bad news in my world. So that means I did something wrong, and usually with a tile shower, it's an expense. It could possibly be, not always, it could possibly be an expensive fix or a time-consuming one. Here's John Studd. Here we go. Here's a lovely question. It's just so kind.
It's him again.
Why do fat people have carnivore channels on YouTube and they can't lose no weight, but all they do is talk about it? So that's where you're mistaken, John. So a lot of these, what you would call fat people, were fatter people not too long ago. And they've experienced successful weight loss, lots of weight loss, maybe even rapid weight loss. And so they start, talking about, and they've reversed their chronic diseases. They've improved their blood work. And so they become passionate about it, and they want to share their story with others. And yes, their journey is not over. Absolutely. I can think of a guy who was over 700 pounds, and he's down to the 400s now, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he's telling his story. Now, is he a fat failure? Absolutely not. He's a winner. He's a victor, because he's already, taken his body size and almost cut it in half. So that's the answer to your question. So they're still on their journey, or they're documenting their progress. Some people like to journal it. So before they start their diet, hey, this is me. This is what I look like. This is what I'm going to do. And then, every couple days or every couple weeks, they film another video so they can chart their progress. So it's quite simple if you don't have such a narrow mind, John. All right. Let's see.
Because most of us here, we were bigger, except for Rick. He just grew up taller and slender. He just grew up and stayed slender. He was the smart one out of us. But like for me, when I started carnivore, I was keto, and I even lost probably 80 pounds with the keto. But the first year I was doing clean keto. Second year is when I discovered all the keto treats, the keto cookies, and all that, and the keto breads. But also that year, I was dealing with a lot of stress. When you deal with stress, your weight will go up because you put your cortisol. You don't sleep well, and then I also fell off during that. So that's why keto wasn't sustainable, and I wasn't aware of all the phytochemical nutrients or phytochemical poisons that these plants have, these toxins, and I was unaware of it. And what I know now, if I knew it back then, I would probably start a carnivore in 2021. But sometimes we learn, but I gained almost half of my weight back in 2024. And when I just did the carnivore, I took it one day at a time and noticing a huge difference. The weight started coming off, and also the inflammation subsided. I lost about 70 pounds, but I may have gained a little bit over the winter time because I had to do a change up. I did a change up. Now the weight's coming back down, but also my body is still trying to heal from all the crap that I dealt with and I pushed myself through in the last 40 years. So it's still healing. So, some of us may lose our weight faster. Some may not lose our weight as quick. So every one of us that was overweight, we used to be bigger, and we're still healing from other things. So that's my story, and
sticking to it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't lose weight on carnivore, but I did lose a lot of weight. I used to be 379 pounds, and I lost a lot of it with keto, basically, or at least low carb, but, and the thing is this is what people don't remember. Carnivore is not people go on it because it's a weight loss. They think it's a weight loss diet, but many people figure out that it's actually for health. It actually improves a lot of markers, and, making comments about people not losing weight and stuff like that is ignorant, if you ask me, because many people may not lose weight because it's the healing that they're doing. Ask any of them how much better they feel. Most of them are going to be like, I feel a lot better. And a lot of them say, like, I don't care if I've lost weight or not.
Do you remember Kip, Carnivore Kip? And
Oh yeah, of course.
All the nasty comments drove him off of YouTube. He doesn't even want to make videos anymore. And then a lot of people, they complain about Larry and Cassie. Oh, they're fat. I'm like, so what? People are fat. People are skinny. What difference does it make? You don't start the carnivore diet just because you want to lose weight. You start the carnivore diet to feel better. This is what a lot of people, when they relate their experience, they're still fat, but they feel better. And then they lose weight. And I think, this is my opinion, that fat itself is not that bad, like Dr. Kiltz always says.
Right.
Getting fat is not the problem. The problem is that when sick people are putting on weight, why are they getting fat? If you're fat and you're eating better and you're able to do the things you need to do and you're not in a nursing home, are you really losing? You know what I mean? The carnivore diet is stopping the decline. You lose the weight, that may take a long time.
And weight goes down much slower than it is when it goes up.
You're right.
And
except for me, I can lose weight very quickly.
You go up. Yes.
I lose weight very quickly if I don't eat enough and I get under stress. I can lose 10 pounds in like 2 weeks, but then it takes me forever to get it back.
Yeah, mine varies. I can obviously, with my years of yo-yo dieting, I can put it on really fast. But that's one thing about carnivore and the way I've learned to eat now is, I've went from 235-ish down to 175. And for the first time in my life, instead of getting down to a certain weight and blowing right back up, I've actually maintained my weight for a solid 3 years now. And could I lose a little more? Yeah, I could, but I'm very, very happy where I'm at because it used to be a lot worse. So,
yeah, I'm like, if it takes me another year or two before I can get to my desired weight where I want to, I'll be fine with that. I have no problem. I dealt with this hip pain in 22, 23, 24. When I went carnivore, I started healing. I walked over downtown Nashville like for hours and I was fine. And I was enjoying it. I work here on the farm. Like, Rick knows, he saw my videos cleaning a fence row, working on the truck, stuff like that. And it's, I enjoy that, and I don't care what the size. I mean, I have an uncle. He's in the nursing home now, and he's happy where he's at. But he grew up. He was pretty good size. He was he was really hefty, and he worked up to the farm until he was probably 83. And mostly, he had a sound mind, but his knees were giving out because the weight and stuff. But when they grew up, they grew up on a standard diet, but never, no seed oils. They rendered their own lard. They raised their own chickens. They raised their own beef. They raised their own pork. And I remember several times going there, and my uncle, even my grandfather, my uncle, he'd be rendering the lard and having, what is that? Pork cracklings. And I'd be eating those up, and they're delicious. And he still has a sound mind. Now, is his mind is good? Is he not doing as good because they're feeding him the crap duck food in the nursing home? Right. And then as he got after Grandma passed away, it kind of changed a little bit. But after Grandpa passed away, yeah, they were eating more junk than they were, producing their own. They still butcher their own animals and stuff, but they started getting more in the seed oils. But still, there's nothing wrong to have a little bit of fat. I mean, the saying is like what our famous troll, or who we call, wants to dog us about this. It's not about this. This whole journey is not about, part of it is losing weight, but the other part is the healing part. And that's where we have our whys. My why was the chronic inflammation. Yes, part of it was losing weight, but mine was the inflammation, and I feel so much better going on. I'm almost completed 2 years on carnivore. Okay.
Yeah. Jason says, I appreciate Bob not banning John Studd. We may not agree, but that's okay. So here's my opinion on it is, there's no question from anybody that I'm afraid to answer. I think we should always be able to take a stand and answer anyone who brings criticism towards us. Mm-hmm. The people who actually end up getting a ban are people who are just absolutely just dogged rude in the chat, so right. if they're here to try and, really break up the discussion, then they got to go. But, a negative comment here and there, sure, let's bring it up on screen and let's talk about it. We get that from time to time, even from vegans and everything, which, as you guys know, I have nothing against vegans. So yeah, so no, you wanted to know the answer. There's the answer. We also brought up a couple examples. Here's one. Carnivore Kip. So John Studd says Carnivore Kip is getting stomach surgery, and I heard that too. Yeah, and I
heard too.
Yeah, and he doesn't go by Carnivore Kip anymore. So he's someone that had a YouTube channel. He did have success at first, but then he started to fall back into his old ways. Why? Because addiction is real. And his channel was more of just trying to get support from the community. And unfortunately, what he got, and it's not exactly true, but it's a lot of it was what he perceived. He focused on the negative Nellies. So he wanted support, but he only ever focused on the criticisms he got. And so he changed the tune of his channel, and I think he kind of just abandoned the whole community altogether. And that's too bad, because when he had his mind and his heart in it, he was being successful. Right. Another set of couples that have been brought up, and they've been brought up a couple times lately, is Carnivore Quest. Larry and Cassie, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Larry and Cassie. Okay. And and they've same thing. They had great success at first, and you know what? Then did something stupid. Ate off plan. They said it in a video the other day. Had like some Italian dinner for some sort of occasion, and then after that, they just slid off the diet, and they put all kinds of weight back on. Now Larry's been, coming back with periods of success and then another slip up, and periods of success and then another slip up. Everybody does that. Most people are yo-yo dieters. That's exactly what happens. They lose something, they gain something. They lose something, they gain something. They have trouble sticking to it because the addiction is real. Now, his wife, she is right now trying to not do carnivore, but she's trying to calorie count. And if you watched her last video, she's talking about how she's hungry all the time and she finds herself binging, and she'll eventually recall, hey, when I was carnivore, I wasn't hungry all the time and I wasn't binging because I was hungry all the time. And so she'll probably eventually go back, and because she's relearning that these other methods don't work. So
and that's,
I love cats. They taste like chicken. Let's see if I can blow that up. Where's the blow up? Oh, I removed him. That's not what I
Not only did you not blow it up, but
hold on, the blow up's up here. Here we go. Okay. All right.
You got to remove that saying with John Studd so you can see the whole thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right. And now the thing with Rick is he just might know.
Are we discovering parking lot kitties?
Milton had a family. Had.
If I may just say something, I don't think anybody saw my live the other day, but I had John Studd was on it making comments, and I didn't really care about the comments too much. It's like whatever, say whatever you want to say. But then he started to make comments about a certain person that I found to be like a very good friend of mine, and he was being very creepy and very, that I found that was not appropriate. So I banned him from my channel. I'm sorry, John, but it's one thing to say things like, "Hey, Tom's a fat guy, and why does he have a channel?" But it's another thing to keep on like making somebody feel like you're stalking them and making them feel uncomfortable. So that's why I banned it, John. So I just want everybody to know that it wasn't because of his comments. It was because
I've heard a lot of negative comments about John Studd and his comments on other channels, but I can only react with what I see on.
You only do with your channel, yeah, and
yeah.
I get that.
No.
I get that.
Yeah.
I just wanted.
Yeah, he was on my last live, but he's had a simple question: why does all these people have channels and not losing weight? And I just killed it with kindness and say, this is why.
Right. That wouldn't bother me any, because it's but I don't want to give her name out. I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about, but
absolutely.
Yeah, and because
I also saw those comments on Mitch's live a week ago, Tuesday, ago before Russ's.
Yeah, he was just being totally harassing that person, and it was just, if he did the same thing with you or with Bob or Rick, I probably would be the same way if he was being that offensive to you.
Right. Yeah, and so he's popped on mine a couple Mondays now. I don't think it was last Monday. It was a previous Monday sometime, over the last month or two, and he popped on tonight. But he hasn't been behaving in a way that makes me want to ban him as of yet. So
right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ricky Lee Carnivore says, "You got a bunch of cats now, Rick."
The neighborhood's full of them.
You were talking about getting your cat some food. Looks like you found yourself some food too. Some people were wondering who was smacking in the chat. It was whose microphone was picking up the smacking noises. You're over there enjoying your dinner, it looks like.
Yeah, I had my ground beef stew. I don't want to eat too late. I mean, it's later than I normally eat. I usually eat by 8, but I got it done before 8:30, so it's better than 10:30.
Yeah. All right, very good. Sometimes I eat on camera. I'm completely cool with that. So, man's got to eat. Lion Danivore Podcast says, "I love my neighborhood cats because they guard my grass seeds from the birds eating them."
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Angela says, "Yes, cats can have multiple fathers. A litter of kittens, that is. Fathers in the same litter." Twin Brook Acres says, "Hello. Good to see you. Glad you're here." Same with GFG Homestead. And Grandma's Crochet Corner, although she's already bailed, I think she had her own YouTube thing to go do.
Yeah,
That starts at 9.
It starts
Yeah.
at 9, but she's
Okay,
still on
she's probably getting
YouTube.
ready.
Yeah.
Aaron Fallon, John Together Strong. Jamette says, Jeff, if you're watching, good evening. Hope all is well. Yeah, he might not be watching tonight, but he will catch it on the replay. So he's always good about that. If he has to leave early, the next day he'll find out where he left, and he'll finish viewing the discussion to see what transpired afterwards.
Cool.
Venetian Cat.
Hey.
Hello, nice to meet you. Wow, that's Robin. These are coming in from YouTube. I see Rick is restreaming. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. We got 18 watching on Rick, 42 watching over here. Nobody on Twitter and Facebook at the current time. They usually pop in eventually. Lions Danivore Podcast says, you have a great voice, Bob. Well, thank you. I'm usually a little self-conscious of it. Like, I think everybody is. You notice how you sound one way inside your head, but when you actually record your voice and play it back, you're like, is that me? I'm that way. So I don't think my voice sounds different.
Okay.
My voice sounds different right now than if I was to record it and play it back. It has a different tone to it.
Oh, so. I'm the same way. I can talk and I feel like normal, but when I hear my voice recorded, I sound like a dumb hick hillbilly.
Mine sounds the way it does when I say it.
Yeah, no, mine sounds like a cat in heat. So
I think my internal acoustics is just different from a recording playing it back. So yeah. So thank you there. Appreciate it. Do I have a voice for? Does that mean I have a voice for radio? All right. I got the face for radio. Should be
my boss used to say the same thing to me. I have a face for radio.
22 Q Cat. Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hey, Lynn.
Rick does awesome bike rides, no water or heavy breathing. That means Rick is fit.
You do breathe occasionally, though, right?
But not heavy. And you're right. I don't take any water with me.
If you're like holding your breath while riding your bike.
You know, it's funny you mention it because I'm the only one I know that doesn't take water when I ride.
Wow.
And it's hot here.
Yeah.
Last time I rode my bike, my truck broke down, and I had to. Whoops! I didn't mean to do that. I had to take it to a garage, and but I had nobody to pick me up and bring me back home. So I threw the bike in the back of the truck, and this was probably a year ago now. Actually, it's the last time I rode a bike. And I had to drive a couple miles away to the garage, and then I left the truck there, got the bike out, rode back, and I mean I did all right, but yeah, I was going up some hills, and man, my shins were burning. I was like, "Woo, this is a workout," because it's been so long.
I like to ride all day.
I like to hike, and even run and stuff like that. But I was just the bike. I'm just not used to those motions anymore, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Standing Foot says, Rick, I wish I could come over and help you put the engine in your truck. And wow, that's Robin says, I've been in a stall longer than I thought. Early September. I really don't care anymore. Just working, breathing, and eating. And yeah, there's a couple reasons for that. Possibly a couple of reasons for that. And I think a couple of the most common are, I think there's three that are very common. One is if you've lost a considerable amount of weight, you have what's called your basal metabolic rate. You know, like you're this size and you need this much energy just to keep your body alive and functioning and everything. And then if you say you lose 25% of that, well, that's 25% less energy you need. But if you are still eating what you were at the beginning, and you're 25% less, your basal metabolic rate is no longer what it needs. You actually don't need that amount of energy anymore. That's one reason. Reason number two is the body adapts. Like the body's like, okay, this is the new norm as far as the amount of energy and food and resources coming in. So we're going to adjust our metabolic rate so that it's in harmony with what we know is coming in on regular. So the body, it kind of adapts, catches on. In both of those situations, you got to do something to throw your body off, trick it, throw it a curveball. And people have done this by either fasting, or they do this by, if they're already fasting, they go back to more meals a day for a few days and then go back to fasting. Some people have, now I know you probably won't do this, but some people will carb cycle. They'll throw in carbs for a day and then they'll go back to their normal diet. And that's enough to kind of get the body like, oh, okay, and get the losing weight again. And then the third one, I think, is you start off on the carnivore diet and they're like, just eat meat. And you do that. And then as you get more involved in the community, you find these people that are like, eat lots and lots of fat, add fat, keep adding fat, you need to pile all kinds of fat on everything. Well, increasing your fat ratio might be good for you, but if you don't need all that energy, then you might stall out. So those are a couple things that I think come into play there.
That's where my stall out. So that's why I had to do a change up. I also changed up my eating window. Tonight was the first time that I ate past 6:30. Normally I'm done by 4:30, the latest. And I eat between 8 to 10 o'clock, depends on what I'm doing. I'll take a break about 10 o'clock at work. I'll eat my first meal of the day, do a little relax about 5 minutes, and I'll go walk that off. And then I go from there. What I did was I still had my fat higher, but I cut my protein ratio down to one, either 0.8 to 1 pound, 1 gram of protein to 1 pound of ideal body weight. So I probably I'm going to make sure my fat is high. So that way I'm not hungry, because when I started that, there was times at 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm like, no, I ain't eating, I'm hungry. And also that's because my body says, well, normally you eat at this time. No, I'm not eating. Mm-hmm. But I learned to, add a little extra fat. I don't have a lot of fat like I did before, but still, 70% of my calories is fat. And then, the rest is the protein. And so like last week, since I switched over, I have to eat more chicken and, less beef, more chicken and pork, because of the prices of beef has gone up. I learned when I fix my chicken or something, I'll put it in my air fryer, and then I have that skillet heating up with lard or bacon grease ready to go. And then I give it the heart attack method. And I let it soak or let it cook through. And then I put it in that grease and, in the frying pan, the cast iron frying pan. And I just let it go and get all that good heart attack soaking up.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. One of these days I'm going to do a heart attack burger. I'm going to have Rick walk me through it. So yeah. I'll take the camera down to my, not so kempt or and not nearly updated kitchen, show you all what it looks like, and I'm going to make a heart attack burger on it. So
no one's got an older kitchen than me.
All righty. Yeah, so those are a few ideas. I just think throwing the body a curveball, one way or another. Add more food, take away food, fast. Add it. If you're doing 1 meal a day, kick it back up for 2, something like that. Get the body. I've also heard this, and now of course I'm gonna invoke a very bad word. Okay, so plug your ears, everybody. Calories. So like here's this, and I'm using this for illustrative purposes. So let's say you're eating a 1,800 calorie a day diet, and that was losing weight, and then it just stops. So, and then you go down to 1,600, you lose some more weight, and then it stops. And then you go down to 1,500, you lose maybe a pound, and it stops. And then you could get down to you're down to where you're eating 800 calories a day, and you're not losing any weight, and you're like, oh my gosh, what gives? This is because what I told you about that body adapting to okay, we're in a famine. This is all the resources are coming in. We're going to down regulate the metabolism. So how do you fix that? So here's one solution that I've read that works. So if you were at say 1,800 calories, the next day it's 1,850, the next day it's 1,900, then it's 1,950, then it's 2,000, and you keep gradually rise it up, till you get up to between 22, 20, say 25. Do that for a couple days, and then whoosh, cut it right back down to 1,500. So what happens is your body's like, oh, okay, energy's coming in at a higher rate now. We can dial up the metabolism burner a little bit, and then you get it used to running at this quote unquote temperature or this setting, and then you cut the portions again, and calories, energy, whatever you want to call it, and then it's still burning at that higher rate, but now you're only bringing in this rate. And so you'll lose weight for some time until it catches on and down regulates again. And then you got to play that game again. So that happens sometimes. And that's one. Well, that could be one of the reasons what's going on. And there could be several other reasons too, but that would be one that I would probably play with first, is throw your body a curveball. For example, I oscillate between 175 and 179. So I was up to like 179 Saturday morning. I've been 179 for the last week. And so Saturday morning I was 179, and I worked Saturday. And I started my day with my 4 pork sausage patties, like I always do. And I got to the job site at 11, and I ended up working all the way till 8 o'clock at night, and without a break. And I was hungry. Okay. And because it was the worst walls I had seen, I was doing a backsplash, trying to squeeze it in. I went on my way home. I picked up some chicken breast and stuff to make chicken tacos. Okay. Carnivore chicken tacos. So egg life wraps, cheese, sour cream, chicken breast. And I had like 4 chicken tacos and passed out. And I usually don't believe in like eating and then going to sleep on your food. It's kind of like you don't need to sleep on your food. I woke up the next day, 176. So I'm like 3 pounds down instantly. Sunday, after our church meeting, a bunch of us went out to a restaurant where I kind of deviated just a little bit, but I made sure that was my only meal of the day. And this morning I woke up, I was 175 again. So, what did I do? I threw it a curveball. Mine happened to be going a long stretch of time, not eating, intermittent fasting when I usually don't. And now I'm back down to my 175. So basis on an example. Robin also says, I did the same as Kelly did with keto. I was 10 pounds away from my goal weight and looked amazing. Yeah. My goal weight was 175, but now I'm like, I could really do 165 pretty easy. And John Studd's probably gone, but it's too bad he misses this testimony right here from John Together Strong. Started at 367 pounds, now at 190. 12 years keto, 1 year carnivore, reverse diabetes, fatty liver, heart disease after a quintuple bypass. Quintuple bypass. No glasses needed anymore. I remember this comment before. That's amazing. Mental clarity improving every day. So, awesome testimony. Now, John Dudd would probably say you're still fat at 190, but no, what a victory, man! That's amazing.
And one thing for me is am I going to get all the gray hair gone? Probably not. But I also noticing that my hair on my head is getting darker underneath the gray hair.
That's interesting. I've seen other people with the same testimony who've actually taken photographic evidence too, like, over the course of several months that their hair gets darker. Mine's gray. I'm 50. It's going to stay gray. Also I'm bald. If I was to let this grow out, I'd have that horseshoe looking thing that I'm just not too keen on. So I shave it off. And because there's no hair up here, this carnivore still gets a sunburn because that just fries. So I actually don't get sunburn much anywhere else, but the top of my scalp will get it something ferociously. Robin says, I really miss Amanda, Carnivorous Me. You know, she had a very enjoyable channel, and I haven't seen her a lot lately, and I don't know why, but Jerry says all the negative Nellies drove Amanda right off of YouTube too. She was stupendous. So I
Yeah.
didn't know.
About ready to say what Jerry just said right there. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, she just had too many negative commenters.
Pretty much. And she was one that had an incredible story. Like she wasn't finished with her weight loss, but she went from a certain weight and she lost like I think over half of her weight. But it's like Bill Knott from Alaska. You know, he was 700 pounds and he is almost closer, like 380 pounds down. And then there's another guy that's from Ohio, ground beef chief. He started at 650 and he's down to 442. And he feels like that. And he feels amazing. I just watched his last video. He's got a girlfriend now.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. No, that's too bad. You know, I get negative comments too, and I actually thrive on them. I love them. I've got a couple of videos, and I mean they're kind of designed for this, you know. But I've got a video about, you know, is it okay to eat McDonald's on a carnivore diet? I've got another video about Jesus was not a vegan, and oh my goodness, those two videos rack up comments every day. They are the gifts that keep giving. I love it. So someday, I should make a video just highlighting the comments I get from those videos. that's what I should do. They are a hoot. So. Brendan Bull, question for all four of you. Just got a quarter cow in today, and the butcher hooked me up with all the trimmings, 30 plus pounds. What are your favorite ways to cook used beef trimmings? So I don't particularly have one, only because I just buy my meat from the store. And but if you're talking about like fat trimmings, make tallow. That's the first thing that comes to my mind is you put it on some low heat, and it's a process that takes all day. But you could take all the fat trimmings and you put them in a pot, and yeah, you just turn on the heat and let that render down, and don't burn it up too fast. I did that, and I ruined my tallow because it tastes burnt. You know, but you do it real slow all day long, and then once it's mostly rendered out, you can use a paper towel and as a filter, or you can use a coffee filter too, I'm sure. And you pour it through there, and we can collect all the oil in a jar, and you can use that for cooking until it runs out. You know, it's put in the fridge, and I mean it'll stay good for ages and ages and ages. And then some people, they take the crispy fat trimmings that are left over that they still have on the paper towel or coffee filter from filtering it out, and they actually let those cool down, and they snack on them. So those are some things that I've heard. Any other ideas, panel?
Well, you could also eat them raw if you think they're safe and you like it.
Yeah, that's true. Dr. Kiltz is big on eating raw fat. So
I do it at times as well.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, one of my favorite things to eat when you kind of eat it raw is if you let your steak or your meat dry brine for about 3 or 4 days, like they do back in the past before refrigeration. I used to take it and I cut up part of a ribeye just to eat it raw, and it was delicious.
Yep. I mean, what I've done is I've taken the beef fat trimmings and cut them up into little cubes. And then I put them in the air fryer. I put it in for about I think it's like 170 or something like that for about 10 minutes, not very long at all, 10, 15 minutes. And it comes out really crispy. And then I take the fat that melts from there and I pour it, and I use it to make my beef tallow bark, you know. And but the little things become really crispy. You put some salt on them, and you put them in the refrigerator for a little bit, put some salt on them, and it's like eating popcorn. You know, it gives you that motion of eating popcorn. So
there we go. All right. Yeah, air fryer seems to be a popular popular option. Let's
If it
see
works,
here.
it works.
I use the old way, a pot of lard or tallow on the stove,
And that works too.
unless you drop your chicken in too fast.
Yes. I wonder who you're referring to.
Speaking of that, when you said speaking of chicken, it's time to get some chicken out of the freezer to thaw to make some heart attack chicken.
Yes. Always.
Yummy.
All right, here's a good comment to John Studd. Why don't you show yourself on your own channel?
Of course he's not going to.
Yeah, he ain't here to watch this. I'm sure he's gone. All right. Let's see here. I'm running out of starred comments, so I got to catch up here. We got Edward, hello from San Diego, and Jamette. Everyone on the panel has nice voices. Thank you, Jamette. All right. Okay.
Grandma just came alive, so it must be 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Thomas, I liked your meatballs yesterday.
Did
Did you cook on YouTube live?
Yeah, well, it's on Amy's channel, and I put it over onto my channel. It was actually Amy's show.
Amy's show?
Yeah.
Very
It was
nice.
a cooking challenge that we both did. So
Yeah, I saw those. I saw them stuffed burger patties that she did, and I'm thinking we can put them on a couple. Make some heart attack buns. Get some cheese. Get some bacon. We can have some stuffed heart attack burgers.
okay, can you imagine it as a heart attack burger? That's my burger was a little too immense, so I couldn't finish it all. I'm sorry.
Only a few people can finish the heart attack burger.
I know. Maybe as I get my stomach to grow back again, maybe.
And Aaron is one of them.
Gary, Aaron, yep. Rick.
All right. I'll share some links right now. There's a link to Rick's channel, Charger Mopar, recently renamed Charger Mopar's World. And then,
So what made you change it to Charger Mopar's World? So you could sound like Mr. Rogers?
Something like that. I just, my channel is not a carnivore channel. I don't promote the carnivore diet. I don't promote carnivore products. And until I live in a place where I can get it, I won't promote meat either. Now, if I became a rancher, I would definitely promote my meat.
all right. Now, this next one is Target Prime Rib. That's Tom up in the corner there. And
How'd you know?
yeah. And Kelly, what are you calling your channel these days? I know you got two of them, but I think you're
Missouri Carnivore. I have the Homesteader channel, but I'm hoping there are going to be some videos that I'm going to do this summer on that channel before I go down for the hip replacement. But I'm looking forward to this summer.
okay. And then so there's a link to the Kelly's current channel, or one of his channels. So there you go. And then the one channel will probably take you to the other channel too. So all right, very good. And we made a reference to Coach Amy, right?
Yeah.
Rockin'.
Rockin' Coach.
Yeah, she has 2 channels too, so
She has 2 channels?
yeah, Rockin' Coach Amy and then Keto Rock Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But you should be able to get to the one with the other. So
Yeah, let's see here. All right, well, this is the one that came up. Keto Rockstars came up, so that's the one we're going to share. Is that the one where your video was at? Let me just check that out first. Is the video on your channel?
yeah, I have it streamed to my channel too.
Okay.
She actually sent me. We weren't able to double stream, so she sent me a link to the video.
Oh, she sent you a copy. Okay.
Yeah, so I put it out today.
All right. Well, I'll do this one since I've done open my mouth already. So we'll do here's one of Amy's channels. I didn't know she had more than one. So all right, very good.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. So if you're one of the 64 watching, which is we're tied with my with my record. 64 was my old record. We're at 64 now. So hit that like button, share it somewhere on social media if you can, and not be spammy. That would be great. And because we don't want to spam, and that's not very welcome. But yeah, 64 right now. Yeah, so show some support. Visit Rick's channel, Kelly's channel, and Tom's channel. Make sure you're subscribed to them as well.
Right.
Very good. I see you pointing. Okay. I'll point. Yeah. Yes. So basically, the links are everybody you see on the screen right now. Yeah. All right. Super Tune is here.
Chuck.
Dialing in from Rick's side. So this is a good question. Again, he's gone. John Studd, do you do carnivore, keto, or standard American diet? Yeah, we'd like to. Yeah, to tell us a little about yourself, John. We'd like to know you, and really no judgment. If you live on carrots or Twinkies, we don't care. So, yeah, no, that's okay. You do you.
Twinkie.
Thomas, please share the recipe in the Steak and Butter Gal community. It looks good.
Jason, I actually posted the link to the video because that's probably the best way to see it.
Ah, okay.
So you can actually see how it's made.
All right. Yeah. So you did that in the chat. Did you do that in the chat? I don't think you can.
No, not here. No, I did
Okay.
on each membership thing.
Okay.
I went into the memberships. It's amazing what you can do, like while you're in on a panel and nobody knows that you left. And sorry.
Yeah.
It's like you went into the tabs.
All right.
That's probably why I had a blank look on my face for a little bit.
Carnivore Muscles in the house.
Hey, Jonathan.
Jonathan, awesome.
Okay, so here's another not so nice comment here. Russell from Homesick Buckeye says he's on a keto diet. I think he's on a standard American Western diet. This guy can't lose weight to save his life. Now I say, I don't know. How do you know? I don't know. I've met him once. I met him at a carnivore conference in Columbus, Ohio. Real nice guy, man. He's hilarious too. And if you watch some of his content, his Reverend Reverend Low Carbon. Reverend IB Low Carbon. Oh my gosh, he had it. I watched some of those videos. They are a riot. I was
Don't forget the singing.
So, yeah, he's got great content, and but I don't know any details about his journey, what he's done. So, I imagine if he's go ahead.
I can tell you this: he's not on the standard diet. He probably is more ketovore than anything, but I know there's a few videos where he went shopping and got deals just on meat.
Oh, you're talking about Russ. Okay.
Yeah.
I've eaten with him a few times.
Check out this testimony. I was 325, says Uncle Charlie.
Nice.
My goal was 220, and here I am at 180. So awesome.
There you go.
Very good.
Not only did he lose the weight, but he surpassed his.
Yeah, yeah. And my first time meeting him, he actually came on screen here too. So yeah.
Oh, you actually met Uncle Charlie? That's cool.
He came on screen and talked to us several videos. I can't remember the date, but yeah, it was a couple months ago. Nice guy. All right. I heard if you eat raw iguana, your hair will turn green.
Let's look at your hair, Rick.
I like my hair the way it is.
Okay. I just want to make sure it's not.
That means you cook your iguana.
That's right. A soon-to-be 58-year-old with no gray hair and no bald spot.
Can iguana be eaten raw?
I wouldn't try it. I mean, there's salmonella in the digestive system.
It's like a lot like chicken, isn't it? Or
yeah, you don't. I mean, you could, but I'm not. I like cooked iguana. I'm going to eat the iguana cooked.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to try iguana, I'm going to try it cooked first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've tried, I've tried raw steak and some raw liver.
I've done that.
But you know what? I'm not about to try like raw chicken. No way. Ain't
You
happening.
know, there's actually a chicken out there called the blue chicken that's supposedly you can eat it raw, but I will never, ever.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Well, first off, I think your bank account has to be huge in order to be able to afford it. You know?
I know some people will consume raw fish. They don't have a problem with that either, you know. And so
Yeah, I've done sashimi.
yeah, but no, I'm a big fan of cooking. You know,
Yeah, why buy the tools if you don't?
we've only been doing it for well, it depends on your viewpoint. Either 6,000 years or 600,000 years or whatever. You know, either way, it's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little before I was born, but
Yeah. All right, Rick. What are the ingredients on your pacemaker pizza, and does it include iguana?
Well,
sorry.
I guess you could add iguana to it. There was somebody after our last iguana dropping event that put iguana in pizza, but a pacemaker pizza is basically regular meat. So you'll have to get some chicken breast, which I normally don't eat. That's why I invented the pizza. And you blend that up with some eggs and cheese. You flatten it out. You deep fry it. So you get a pan full of lard and deep fry it into a pizza crust. Then after you
that's the secret for that chicken crust.
Yep, you got to deep fry it. And then after it's deep fried, you can use it fresh or you can keep it in the refrigerator until you're ready to build your pizza. Then you're going to get your meat, sausage if you want to use it. You'll get fish if you want to use that. If you want to use iguana, go for it. And then you get your grated cheese and you put it on there. If you want to get a little bit of that soft pizza effect, you get some cream cheese and put it down instead of sauce. And then just put your meat on there, put your mozzarella or whatever your cheese is on top, stick it in the oven, and just let it melt. You only have to put it in the oven 5-10 minutes. Get it like 450 degrees if you can get it that hot. Just shove it in there.
I'll be back. I have to make some pizza.
But it's an amazing pizza. I can't eat regular pizza because number one, it smells like vomit to me, and number two, it gives me violent diarrhea 3 hours after I eat it. But pacemaker pizza, it smells absolutely delicious. Think about burger, fried chicken, and cheese all blended together, and then it has sort of a crunchy but firm crust. And then the top of the pizza is very soft. It's very delicious. And if you want to do it like a regular pizza, you can always add fermented tomato sauce to it, which I do for my friends. But again, you only bake the pizza long enough to melt the cheese. And, if you use ground beef, depending on how rare you want it, I like it just the way it is. But 5 to 10 minutes is all it's going to get. But if you're going to have people that want their beef cooked a little bit better, go ahead and cook it in the pan first. Stir it around. Make sure it's thoroughly cooked. Then you throw your ground beef topping on there. Hit it with the cheese, cream cheese, whatever you want. Or if you use tomato sauce, use that. Stick it in the oven 5-10 minutes. It's perfect. You'll never have a better pizza in your life.
Sounds delicious to me.
It is absolutely delicious.
So one of these days, we're going to do that one too. So, yep, very good. Jason says, "Hey, still haven't seen Rick finish the heart attack burger."
I haven't had enough meat to make one.
Yeah. All right. Schmet says, "Hit that like button." Yes, please. We actually hit 65 a minute ago, so that's a new record. Back down to 61 right now. Saved by Carnivore. I like that username. Very nice. So, and Dustin's in the house. Why do people let John Studs stay in their chats? Why are we even humoring this comment? And Russ is a good guy and part of this community, full stop. So I agree. Russ is a great guy. I talked about this earlier. So he hasn't been blatantly rude enough yet for me to kick him. He's only showed up here twice. This is his second night. His first night was probably a month ago. He brought up a question and we answered it. So, he had a criticism, and I think that, all criticisms can be met with answers. So I gave him an answer, and that's why.
what I discovered in the chat, when you try to get rid of someone who's a troublemaker, all they do is create another username and play the same game over and over again.
Get rid of them. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
If you humor them for a while, they just disappear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but when you attack them, it's like a game. Oh, they got rid of one name, I'll just get another name, and they slip in there, and that's it. My rule is simple. Unless you directly attack somebody, then you're going to stay. I mean, you could even say, well, I think this person is a fat slob. Well, that's what you think. But if you say, well, this person is a fat slob, then you disappear.
Yeah, notice the subtle nuance.
I never tolerate ad hominem attacks. You're welcome to make all the criticism you want, and you can criticize me as much as you want. But the ad hominem attacks, that's where I draw the line. You attack my friends directly like that, and you're gone. Other than that, you can stay. Have fun. It's all part of the game. Engagement.
Yeah. So, like I said, clearly he's trolling, you know, but or just trying to have some fun at our expense. But like if he was in the, I've had to kick some people. If he was in the chat, just being like just downright rude, name calling, swear words, abusive language, something like that. Now we got to get that trash out of here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, I don't regret kicking him off. You know.
Yeah. I
mean, I let him stay on for the thing the other day. But as soon as you start talking about my friends in a negative way, that I'm sorry, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to kick you off right away. I'll let you do for that particular day, and then I do my work. You know.
Yeah. And so we answered this question earlier,
Yeah.
and the Russ question, as I don't know Russ's story that well, although I did record on my I do have the Columbus meetup. I recorded it, and he gave a small testimony there, and so you can go watch it.
I mean, he gave it on my channel too.
Yeah. And but you know, someone brought up Bill Knott. You know, same thing. It's like, so if John Studd saw Bill Knott's channel, you know, since he's got a brain the size of a pea, he's gonna be like, oh, what's this guy doing? Why is he talking about this on YouTube? But he doesn't have, you know, the brain power to go back and look where Bill Knott started, you know, and see how far Bill Knott's coming along. You know, his journey's not over. He's still in the process of his journey. But if you were 750 pounds and you took off 300 of it and you're 450, that's worth telling people about. Okay. Even if you got another 350 to go, that's still worth telling people about. So, yeah. So some people are in the middle of their journey. Some people are choosing to document their journey. And some people are making videos so because they want to be part of the support system. Not only do they want to encourage others, but they want to be encouraged too. So, and if you're here on YouTube and your goal is not to build up someone else and encourage someone, then why are you here? You know, so that's a question you need to ask yourself. What's your point? If you have nothing nice to say.
Yeah, like why are you here if you're not more a community of support?
Bill Knott has been able to accomplish what he has without surgical intervention. And that's a very big accomplishment that I think some people do recognize. But he's done it all himself with the support of Carrie and Carnivore community. He's done it himself.
Yep, very good. Yeah, no, it's inspiring. So, you know, you look at that and you're like, what's this? And he's got thousands of followers that look at his channel and his videos and go, that is inspiring. So obviously you're short-sighted and there's something you're not seeing. Robin, 235 pounds in 2023, now 160 in 2026. All right. Yes, I was the same thing in 2023, but now I'm 175. You got me beat by 15 pounds, Robin. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Very nice. All right. Leave that one starred so I can go back up on my other here. So we should be standing up for each other. I completely agree. So, and I do believe that we were by means of our comments.
I support all the channels. I'm always in channels whenever I'm online.
I see you. Even
Yep.
if you don't see me, I see you.
That's a lot of pretzels there.
Better call the ducks.
I'll say it again. That's all twisted if you ask
Yep.
me.
All right. So yeah, Papa Carnivore is in the house. All right. Let's see here. Bob, I respect you even more the way you handle the troll. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. So, Rick has never cussed on his channel. Oh, yeah. I don't think I've never heard Rick use bad language. So,
I don't.
I don't use it either unless I like bang my head, stub my toe.
I use another 4-letter word.
And then
Far
oh,
from
I
here.
have to get. You really got to push my buttons for me to kind of like get that upset to where I use that kind of language outside. But I usually don't. I control my temper pretty well. So usually, if you hear me say something, I'm quoting someone else who said it. That's not actually me saying it. So
My 4-letter word starts with a D.
all right. Although
Duck. Okay.
I actually heard Rick drop an F-bomb on Saturday Live when his neighbor rang and rang. It was hilarious. Great to see Rick with a little emotion. All right. Great show. Thank you, BWS.
Duck it.
Oh, he is still here. Look at that. I think Big Bill's going to have a lot of skin to remove if you ask me. Maybe. So what? So
Yeah. Like, what's your point?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what having to get skin removal surgery is? An outward visible sign of success, of
Right.
victory.
You lost
Get out.
some weight. I mean, do you think Luminous Lindy, when she had her skin removed, that she thought herself like, oh, I failed because I have the skin to remove? No, she was like, oh my God, look how much weight I lost. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Another request to smash that like button. Thank you. All righty. Okay, well, let's see here. Here we go. Bob, do you feel carnivore will eventually heal your kidneys? No. So I do not. So I've been on this for 3 years. And I was told from the beginning that, kidneys, especially in as late of a stage as mine, usually don't see any improvement. And so it's been a bit of an interesting journey. So like, during my first 6 to 9 months of carnivore, we saw little microscopic improvements, nothing to write a book about, but my nephrologist and I were both pretty impressed. But then we had my PCP wrote me a prescription for triglycerides in November of 23, and I took them for an entire year. Turns out that was bad for kidneys, and so that did a lot of damage. And I got off of them in November 24, and since then I've rebounded only half of the way, half of the kidney function I lost thanks to that drug. I've only recovered half of that. So I'm not even back to where I was at the beginning. So, and I'm 50, and I've been in, stage 4 severe chronic kidney disease since 2019. I was in stage 5 for a while. Where I'm back to considering myself in stage 4 again. And, so, it's been 7 years or so. 3 of them have been with carnivore, little tiny microscopic changes that don't really add up to that much. So do I think that carnivore will eventually heal my kidneys? No, because I only got 20, 30, 40 years of life left. Now I could be surprised, maybe something will change all of a sudden, and if so, I'll be really, really happy. But I am not counting on it. I do think, though, that the reason that I'm holding stable, because my kidney function was declining, I think the reason I'm holding steady is because of my dietary choices, being mostly carnivore most of the time. And I think if I was still eating the standard American diet like I was prior to starting carnivore, I'd probably already be on dialysis. I honestly think so. I think it would have just continued to degrade my kidney function. So I think by switching to a carnivore diet, I've saved them. Now, will I heal them? I'm not betting on it, but I would be pleasantly surprised if they did. So there's still hope. As long as this is still ticking, there's still hope. So
that's what counts. So.
Yeah.
I know I said I was going to only be on here for a short while. I was here longer than I expected, so I'm going to hop off because I have to be up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. So,
all right.
So I will
say goodnight to Target Prime Rib. Go say hi to his channel and
Nice.
subscribe to it if you haven't already.
Yeah, I mean, I might still listen in the background. So if anybody says my name, just talk really loud.
Okay. All right. Well, you have a good night.
You too.
See ya.
Yep.
Hold on. Let's see. All right. Let's see here. Where are we at here? All right. So what time is it? 9:30. There you go, John. We're gonna give you a 30-minute timeout. I'm kind of tired of your mouth now. So bye. Or not bye. You can still listen to me. We just can't listen to you. All right. Let's see here. That's exactly what I was saying. You got it. You ask an honest question, we're happy to answer it. If you start being a dick, bye. Rick, when will you be reviewing the Healing Humanity documentary?
I guess whenever I have access to it and it comes out.
I was going to say, is it out? I didn't think it was.
Not really.
Is it ever going to be out?
Yeah, right. Milton, no.
What? No. I see all these trailers, but I've been seeing trailers for like years.
Yeah, I got a Black Menace here.
Oh, hey, kitty. Let's focus in on you here. There he is, the Menace.
Ow! No biting. No.
All right.
There you go.
Rick and Milton get full screen privileges from time to time since he's restreaming tonight. So there you go.
Well, ever since I've had my live, I've had Milton. I got him a couple of months before I started the live. So he's been a part of the show since the beginning. I think he's more popular than me.
Yeah. Standing Foot says he's a cutie.
He's better looking than me, that's for sure.
All right. Kelly, are you growing your beard back?
No, I just haven't shaved in a few days. I only shave once or twice a week because if I shave too much, I kind of break out. But I don't mind a little facial hair. But in the summertime, I like to keep it short or off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I shave my head about twice a week. So, and then I shave these cheeky things. I was trying to do the thin beard thing for a while, and I got to actually trim all this hair, but. At first it was weird, but actually it's actually grown on me. So I don't see anybody.
One of my coworkers does
this.
One of my coworkers there at work, the leasing consultant, she says, "When are you going to grow back?" Because last year when I shaved, I kept the mustache, but I did the Wyatt Earp mustache. Like I guess they call the Fu Manchu. And then I was like trying to trim it up after I got back from the mission trip, and I actually nicked it, so I shaved it off.
Yeah, no, that happens from time to time. You're like, oops, I didn't mean to get the razor that close. So, Rick, you ever grow out any facial hair?
When I was younger, I had a mustache until I turned 30. I tried to look older, so I grew it out, and I got tired of it, so I got rid of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that, being young, wanting to look older, and then you get old, wanting to look younger.
I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with the way I look. You know, I'll be 60 before you know it, and I think I'd look pretty good for someone that age.
No, you do. I remember I was working at my first job. I was 14, working at a restaurant called Kentwood, which just no longer exists. And the owner was like 70 some years old, and she had a birthday, and so the staff was like brought in some balloons and made a little big deal of it. It's the owner's birthday and all. And I made the comment like, how's it feel to be 71? And she goes, I can remember when I was 15 wishing I was 21. She goes, and now I'm 71, still wishing I was 21. So, and I get it. But I don't feel the same way, actually. My 30s were my favorite decade, I think. So, as far as confidence, business, maturity, health, everything like that, So 40s have been pretty good too, but they've come with glasses, kidney disease, things like that. But the 30s were a good decade, probably my favorite decade of them all.
20s to 50s, it's all the same for me.
Rick is the clean-cut caveman. And Murray O'Brien says, good day, Rick. Your hair has no gray yet, which is amazing. What about your facial hair, though? I'm 62 and still have my blonde hair with very little gray, but my facial hair is gray.
Now, mine is still mostly dark. The only gray that I can find way in the back, there was 2 that popped out and a couple popped out here, but it's almost nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, envious. So, me, that is. I'm envious. Very nice. So,
well, I'm the oddball.
Envious of both of you that have hair on your heads. So.
I'm the oddball because I'm the only one my age that looks like this. When I look at other people, my 40-year high school reunion will be this year. I know a couple guys down here. They look so different. I'm the only one I have my high school picture. I'm very similar. It's just like a larger and somewhat older version. Mm-hmm. It's been 40 years since I've been in that place.
Yeah, I've got some classmates I went to school with now that I didn't even recognize at first glance because they look so old now, and then it hits me and I'm like, ooh, wow. Like now I'll go look in the mirror like, that happened to me too. All right. What does Rick shave with, a straight razor?
No, I have one of those, what do you call it? A safety razor where you put the blade inside and you turn it, it opens up. It's from the 50s.
Yeah, my razor is, I think it's got 4 or 5 blades. I don't even remember if it's a Gillette or a Schick now. So
with mine, when you're done with a razor blade, there's a hole in the medicine cabinet that falls into the wall. So you take it out and you push it through the slot and it just goes right in the wall.
Yeah. I've torn out some bathrooms that had a cavity full of razor blades before.
That'll be mine.
Yeah.
That's all my grandfather ever did.
How you guys doing? So that might be for the chat or for us. So very good. We're all caught up on chat.
That's one thing my grandfather always had, straight razor. That's all he ever used. The same thing that Rick used.
Is it a single blade? Like the single blade ones will tear my face up. I have to have at least 2 blade.
I use plenty of lard. That's the trick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put the lard on your face and go for it.
Yeah, I still use shaving cream, and if I'm out of shaving cream, hair conditioner works okay. So I'll grab my wife's hair conditioner and use that.
I use lard. It seems to work good for me. You know me, I use lard for everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's extremely common too. Tallow. They make tallow as turns into cosmetics. They make tallow-based cosmetics, and I know some people that they actually take their rendered tallow and they'll put that on their skin as skincare cream too.
And the funny thing is, they used to tell me all the time that tallow and the lard is going to give you acne. And I was the only teenager that I knew that never got acne, ever.
Yeah, I heard that too. There was, because meat and saturated fat was demonized. But yeah, when I was a teenager and was more subject to acne problems, that's what my parents or my grandmother would always say, that you gotta stop eating the meat and the fat. That's what's giving you that acne. And it was all lies. Not lies. They weren't lying. They were misinformed. They were repeating false information is what they were doing. So they weren't deliberately lying. So
yeah, I had a question asked from one of the youth. He's a senior in high school. He says, "Where do you get your carbs at? How do you get your carb intake?" I don't, and if I do, it's in a form of fermented pickles and sauerkraut and anything that's fermented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and pickles and sauerkraut almost have no carbs in it anyway.
Exactly.
So you get a little carb from my meat and eggs. The carb, whatever carb.
The only other carb I get is from, as Dr. Kiltz will say, bean broth, coffee.
Yeah, let's see here. All right. Well, we had a sudden drop from 60 something down to 38. That's interesting. So, all right. Yeah. And I don't even do the coffee anymore. So, but I do deviate from time to time. So, I'm not the guy that's like, yeah, 300 days carnivore. I'm a 500 days carnivore. I'm 1,000 days carnivore. Like, yeah, I'm a carnivore, but I'm not trying to brag or set any records. So, all right. So your Monday night, you usually have a barbecue. Yeah. What got in the way of that tonight?
Well, one of my friends has moved away permanently, but my neighbor that I usually hang out with, they're going to visit family. They got the whole Easter weekend thing going. So two of the people I know, one of us is some kind of religious retreat, and the other they went to visit family. So my other friend down the street, he's still here, but without everybody coming, we're not having a get together. So this is a rare exception. Usually around 7, we meet up, and then we're there till about 9 or something like that. And then I'll come home and I'll go online. Sometimes if we're doing it here, I'll put it on the TV outside so they can watch your live. But I can't seem to get anyone interested in the carnivore diet. Maybe they'll eat it here, but when they go home, they just go back to the duck food. So I don't think I'm very convincing.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I tried to talk to a lot of people about a lot of things I'm passionate about, and most people, old or young, they're already set in their ways, So,
well, the biggest problem in my case, I've never been sick or overweight, so I think a lot of people think that it's just genetics, has nothing to do with the diet, because they've known me. Some people know me for decades. Rick, I've never seen you complain. When you get sick, it's only a couple days and you're back to normal. And in fact, the one friend says, the only time I remember you really being sick is when you tried to eat what your dad ate. Like, yeah, all that vegetable juice and vegetables and fruits and all that nonsense. I got super sick. Terrible.
Yeah, that's one thing about it. You always hear, well, like for me, I always grew up, well, you need to be careful, heart disease running in the family and all that. And I'm like, so I try to be careful. But then when you switch to this diet, someone says, well, you got to be careful. You know, heart disease, especially doctors, heart disease run in your family. You got a history of heart disease. I said, well, yeah, it ran in the family. But here's the thing. My dad smoked. He worked 16 hours a day on the railroad, high stressful. And he had open bypass in 1983 at the age of 45. My uncle, his brother, he smoked cigarettes. He had a quadruple bypass. All they were eating the standard diet. Dad was not a big meat eater. He ate a lot of plants, especially beans. His favorite thing was beans and biscuits. And then my brother, he had a massive heart attack at the age of 39, but he was on drugs. He did drugs. So his heart's only about 25 to 30% working. And, you know, for me, I was heading that way. I'm a former smoker. I used to chew like Copenhagen and Skull. I quit all that. That's where in 2018, that's where I developed high blood pressure, was from that stuff because I had too much. I don't have nothing against people wanting to smoke a cigar or stuff. I won't do it because I know it'll trigger back old habits and I don't want to go backwards.
Yeah. So you mentioned that it runs in the family. It runs in the family. That, and probably in the majority of times you hear someone say, oh, it runs in the family. It actually doesn't run in the family.
No.
So that's like a big myth. Like, you know, common ones are heart disease and hypertension. You know, they don't like exactly what you said. You know, you'll hear like, oh, they don't run in the family. You know, these run in the family, and there might be, you know, clusters of people within a family that have it, but it all comes down to their shared diets, you know, inactivity, patterns of smoking and obesity, you know, so it's not really a genetic thing. Same thing with type 2 diabetes. It's not a genetic thing. It's chronic, you know, carbohydrate toxicity. And,
yeah, I was always told, watch your sugar intake, watch your diet, because you're susceptible to diabetes, third generation, because my grandmother Louise had it. But the only reason why she developed it, it was from a complication due to a pregnancy. That's why she ended up with diabetes. It was the same form of similar to this type 1 diabetes. She was skinny as a rail, but you know, the same people was telling me, you better watch what you're eating, has the type 2 diabetes today.
Yeah. And then depression's another example. Like, you know, it could be a shared environment, you know, let's see here, upbringing, stress exposure, things like that. And then here's a statistic. Only 5%, maybe 10 at most, of cancers are truly hereditary. So, and again, these are due to lifestyle and diet. So, you know, lifestyle and diet is the number one cause of chronic disease. So yeah.
Now, the only one I know Jeff had AFib, and that's the only thing that I'm not, you know, I'm sure it's probably part of our lifestyle. My dad developed AFib, and could be a rare genetic thing. I don't know. I just go have a routine every 2 years, have a routine heart checkup just to be on the safe side. Other than that, every visit, I always have a good one. See you in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
We may sometimes, I know this one, he'll probably talk about the statin thing, and I'm going to say, no way, not doing the statins. I rather have the risk of the cholesterol, which our body needs that cholesterol. And my opinion is like, if you're concerned about the numbers on the cholesterol, you know, most of us is on a carnivore diet. Our numbers may be higher, but the thing is, they just talk about the number. They don't talk about that's weight per deciliter. So we could be having less cholesterol, and someone that may have a lighter number may have smaller particles that weighs 1 milligram a piece, and they have a ton of it. We may have 1 or 2 big fluffy big fluffy cholesterol like we should be carrying, and that's it. But yet they don't care about what it says, but they care about, oh, your cholesterol's high, you're going to be at risk of a heart attack. Well, what is it? What is the lipid panel? Is it good quality, or is it little trash ones?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's all good. It's the finer details becomes important. And interesting. We went from 64, dropped down to like 36. Now we're right back up to 58. So wonder if like a bunch of people just accidentally got cut off or something. That's interesting. So Brian Dish says, yeah, and they do run in family. Everyone eats and usually has the same habits. So yeah, so it runs in the family, not that it's genetic, but the fact that, the families are usually doing the same thing. So Standing for said, I missed the bean broth. What's that about? Coffee, I believe. That was coffee.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Kills calls bean broth is coffee.
Yeah.
You catch him on his on the morning live, he'll say, yeah, I have a little bean broth.
Mm-hmm. Bean broth. That's cute. I had to stop drinking it. So I'm a tea drinker. So that's Robin says, I do the same thing. I do add in the blackberries and raspberries and blueberries and strawberries once in a while. I do green olives and sauerkraut and pickles, not all of the time. Yeah, I think that's completely fine. So, yeah, that's just fine. Your berries are considered low glycemic and keto friendly, and yeah, the olives are also, and sauerkraut and pickles are fermented foods, which are kind of recommended. So, yeah, I think you're doing good. Very nice. So, me too, from time to time, And that's for clarification. So the only time I deviate truly is if we go out to eat. And although sometimes like the family buys some fruits, and if it looks like they are not going to eat them before they start going bad, I might help them finish them off. So, but I try. I don't want to, but I'm also like, I have this thing about throwing money away. Okay, I paid money for that and you guys aren't eating it, so I got to help you out. So, question: Rick has not been to a dentist in decades and has good teeth. His toothpaste, tallow and baking soda, amazing. So it's not a question, but we do what you're getting at here. So yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you do lard and baking soda, right?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. Baking soda is a age-old tradition, and they used it for all kinds of things, and brushing your teeth is just one of them. So yeah, and I used to buy Arm & Hammer baking soda toothpaste, and because I used to do baking soda as a kid, and then as I got older, I bought baking soda toothpaste because I liked it. So, and now I personally don't think it matters what you brush your teeth with, but as long as you're paying some attention to your oral health, that's important. Don't ignore your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So brush them with water. Brush in some water. Even that help get the gunk off of them. So, all right. I have given up caffeine and to try and improve my sleep, but found that my leg cramps have disappeared. That's interesting. So that could be, is caffeine a diuretic or dehydrate you?
If you drink too much of it, it can. And I know for me, if I drink it, especially, I got to have fat in it. I have to add like cream and butter and stuff in it to kind of slow it down. Otherwise, it's kind of like a diuretic. It goes right through you.
Is caffeine a diuretic, or does it dehydrate you? I want to ask. I'm going to ask the almighty AI. So, yes, caffeine is a mild diuretic, but it does not typically dehydrate you when consumed in moderate amounts. Okay, so there you go. So it depends on how much. Now I quit caffeine also. Well, I didn't quit caffeine. I quit soda. I was drinking Diet Coke. I had to quit that because of my kidneys. The phosphoric acid. I switched to Diet Mountain Dew. And then I found myself guzzling that even more than Diet Coke. And because of the caffeine, and I have blood pressure issues, I gave that up to try and bring my blood pressure down. And, but I never felt like I never got cramps from all the caffeine that I had. But it does, I'm just thinking it's a diuretic, and that might be why. So Saturday, I said I didn't eat all day. I also didn't drink all day. So I got home. I had those chicken tacos, a glass of water, fell asleep. I did have cramps that night. I was probably dehydrated, and I also on the chicken tacos I did not have salt. And I intended to eat something salty before bed, but I fell asleep. But for me, if I don't have salt with my dinner, I will wake up with a cramp that night. So I always have to salt my dinner, and then I'm fine. And then I'm constantly thirsty, so I'm usually never dehydrated. And then my kidneys, they excrete liquid slowly, so I'm never dehydrated. What you got there? Oh, a cat toy. All right, you're fishing.
Yeah, fishing for Milton.
Mm-hmm.
It's a menace.
Let's see here. Ain't none of the heart attack and diseases stuff running the family. Yeah. Kelly, what checkup for your heart? Do they check for plaque in the arteries?
No, they pretty much do. They do that, not the echocardiogram, but the other EKG. I had an echocardiogram because the doctor thought, he might said found something strange in the EKG. So he issued an echocardiogram. So and this was last year's, and so I got the letter from him. He said, I reviewed your recent echocardiogram a few weeks ago. This was after I had it. The study reassuring your heart function is normal with the left ventricle ejection fraction of 63%. We did not identify any heart valve abnormalities, and I would, he just recommended me to continue taking the current medications, which all I take is 2.5 milligrams of blood pressure medicine that I don't think I really need. I just been taking it, and I thought about starting to cut that, where I take it every other day to kind of wean off of it. But other than that, with this, it's pretty good. Now, I've thought about getting the calcium score, but I haven't had it. And I'm thinking if I have any calcium buildup in my arteries or in, any plaque built up or soft tissue built up in my arteries, it's probably from the past, when I was on the standard diet and when I did all the bad habits of chewing and smoking. So if whatever the calcium score is now was going to be back probably when I was in my 30s.
Yeah, so that CAC score, obviously, if it's 0, you're like, wonderful. And that's a good sign, and it is. But if you have some calcium, it's like, it still doesn't tell you a whole lot because the calcified plaque is actually more stable than the uncalcified plaque. So like, and the CAC doesn't show you the uncalcified plaque. What I've heard is probably the best thing you can do is I think it's called a CIMT, and I'd have to look that up though. But it's basically like an ultrasound of your carotid arteries, and they can get that up on the screen. It's an inexpensive test, and they can actually see how much soft plaque might be built up in the carotids. And if you got it there, you might have it other places too. And that's the one that you want to worry about. But that's also the one that's you usually can't reverse calcium, but you can reverse the soft plaque, so with diet. Oh, Robin says she's not feeling the best and looks like she's going to have saying goodnight there. So kind of like Rick's like, looks like she's about to say goodnight.
Pretty much. It's getting close to my bedtime.
I see your eyes closing and your head bobbing. So.
It's amazing how well timed I am when it comes time to go to sleep.
Yeah. All right. Well, hang in there as long as you want. You don't have to feel bad if you feel you gotta go. All right. Cara Morales. Coffee is supposed to deplete magnesium, so perhaps that is why it gave you cramps. Ooh, that's a good comment. That's a very good comment. I've heard Dr. Chafee say that too.
Maybe that's why I don't get cramps. I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, it could be. All right. Brian Dish is saying, have a good night. Eat meat. Yeah. All right. Very good. Okay. And that brings us to the end of our comments. So very good. All right. And you know what? It's 9:55. We can call it at 10. There's no harm in stopping early. So
That is true.
yeah, it might be. We went till we schedule it till 10:30. And sometimes we'll allow ourselves to drag it to 11. And then last week we had that surprise caller. We had that surprise guest that came on screen right as we were about to end, and so we actually extended it to after midnight. And that was pretty good. If you're still, we got 49 in the, so that was interesting. So we had this person, our theme was on mental illness, and the person joined us live and actually had questions. They said that they do struggle with mental illness, and part of their struggles is with gender dysphoria. And they wanted to know if a carnivore diet could help with gender dysphoria. So we had actually a really nice conversation in the third hour, 3 to 4 hour mark of last Monday night's video. So check it out. It was very good.
I have to figure out what that condition is.
So gender dysphoria is the people who think they're born one gender, but in their mind they think they should have been born the other gender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that is mental illness.
So yes. So yes, it is. So yeah, and that was what was interesting too, is because like he said that, he's tried to get help at like his church, and all they told him was ignore it and pray a lot more. And and of course that's not very helpful. And then he went to several therapists, and like I think he said maybe five different therapists, and all the therapists said
it's fine.
Take hormones so that you grow a set of breasts and start dressing like a woman, and you'll be happy. And he goes, I just don't feel like that's the answer either. and I'm like, well, I think it's very good that that you're aware of that and that you feel that way. And so we gave him some counsel the other night, but it was a very, very nice young man. So that's what he really is. He's a young man. And yeah, it sounds like he was looking for help. And so we tried to treat him kindly and give him some pointers.
It's good.
Yeah. Bob, where is Paul tonight? I don't know. Paul has been MIA for like 5 or 6 days. Well, we got another zoom in on the kitty here. We got to zoom on the kitty. There he is. So the cat is not Paul, by the way. That's Mr. Milton. Kitty. And then
Black Menace.
Ow. Yeah, so Paul is a prolific poster on the forum, and he's been notably absent, and I don't know why. Now last Monday, and I hope this isn't the case, because I thought at the end of the night we kind of resolved it, but he did make a comment that got a reaction out of me, and I muted him for a while. And I'm hoping he's not holding a grudge over that, because I thought we resolved it at the end of the night before we went off the air. So you'll see that too if you go to that third hour and watch this discussion. You'll get to see that moment explode too. So that was a little exciting. So yeah, I don't know. So that's that. But yeah, 9:59. I tell you what, I'm ready to wrap it up. How about you guys?
I'm there. Y'all say your bedtime's at 10. Mine's at 9.
Well, you got a time difference.
Here in Victoria, if you tried to help someone with gender dysphoria, you can go to jail. You were only allowed to reaffirm it.
But get to about May to June, then I will stay up till 10, because I have no problem, because it stays daylight till 9 o'clock here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is Victoria Canada?
I think so.
Yeah, there is a Victoria, Canada, Victoria, British Columbia. Yeah, I heard Canada is kind of wacky like that. So yeah, down here you can still say and do what you want for now. For now, there's always
It's getting there, but yeah.
All right, Australia. There we go. That's okay. Yeah, Victoria, Australia. All right. Yeah, no, well, that'd be interesting. So that's too bad. So anyhow, that's it. Thanks for being on the panel, Rick and Kelly and Tom, who's already off the air. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate having you here for the last 2 hours. And thanks to everyone who joined us in the chat. We had up to 65 today. That was exciting. I know a lot of you are watching from Charger Mopar's channel, and we're glad you were here. And hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as we did. And that's it. Rick will see you on his channel. Kelly will see you on his channel. I'll see you on mine and over at carnivoretalk.com. And until next Monday, everybody have a blessed week. Take care. I'm going to end the stream right now. You guys can stay on if you want. So.